25 cents an hour. Shame on the government.
Jami-Lee Ross.
Oh, that guy should go back to watching the movies. He's better employed in that area. Mr. Speaker, it never fails to amaze me how many anti-worker provisions Labor can come up with and bring to this House. And I say it's anti-worker provisions because it will make it far more difficult for people aged under the age of 16 to go out there and get work. 16-year-olds and those aged under the age of 16. Because the Labor Party wants to change the definition so that it becomes almost impossible for someone under the age of 16 to be employed as an independent contractor. Mr. Speaker, I would like to refer to this bill as an attack on the paper boys out there. It's an attack on the paper boys out there because it'll mean that it'll be far more difficult to employ paper boys. It'll mean that paper boys around the country, or paper girls around the country, that are out there delivering papers, delivering the junk mail, actually happy to earn a bit of money, will be deemed to be employees. They'll have to be subject to all of the provisions of the Employment Relations Act, and that will make it far more difficult for them to be employed. Mr. Speaker, we know that Labor likes to do things that cost jobs, and this is one of those things that will cost jobs for those people out there aged 16 or under who are currently working as independent contractors. They'll be joining the 13,000 people that we helped to get a job. They'll be joining those people who will no longer have a job when Labor changes the 90-day law. They'll be joining the 6,000 people that will be out of a job when the $15 minimum wage that they want to bring in comes in. Darian Fenton is going yay because people will be losing jobs. That's what she actually did. People will be losing jobs under the employment relations framework that Labor wants to bring in, and Darian Fenton is saying yay about it. Darian Fenton is saying yay because paper boys out there, any person aged 16 or under that is an independent contractor, will end up losing their job under this legislation. Darian Fenton says yay. And that's the face of employment relations in the Labor Party. Mr. Speaker, I'd like to refer the House to the current Section 6 in the Employment Relations Act, because I think there's some interesting provisions in there. Section 6.2 talks about what the court or the Employment Relations Authority can determine at present. At present, I'll read it out. In deciding for the purposes of subsection 1A, 1A is about the meaning of an employee, whether the person is employed by another person under a contract for service, the court or the authority must determine the real nature of the relationship between them. And for the purposes of subsection 2, the court or the authority must consider all relevant matters. Essentially, what that means, Mr. Speaker, is that the court or the authority at present can consider all the matters in relation to an employment relationship between a company, an employer, and a 16-year-old or an individual under the age of 16, can consider all those matters, and the court can actually at the moment determine that that person who is thought to be an independent contractor, they can actually determine under subsection 6.2 of that, the court of the authority can actually already determine that that person is an employee. The employment court and authority can pretty much investigate into the situation, investigate the exact nature of the situation. So if the Labor Party is concerned, if anyone is concerned that an individual that's in a relationship which looks like an employment relationship, which looks and sounds and is effectively the same as an employment relationship that someone over the age of 16 is in, if they're concerned about that, there is already actually redress in Section 6 of the Act. Mr. Speaker, I don't believe this bill is necessary. This bill will be an attack on those 16 and under currently delivering papers, currently independent contractors. It will mean a loss of jobs. It will just be in line with the other proposals that Labor have put forward, which will mean a loss of jobs. When they take away the 90-day trials, when they introduce the $15 minimum wage, when they abolished youth wages, we saw a whole lot of young people losing jobs then, and now as we're trying to help people with a starting out wage, they're opposing that, and that'll mean more people get more jobs under the proposals we want. Everything we come up with to create jobs, they oppose. They keep bringing us proposal after proposal, which will cost jobs though, and that's exactly what this will do too.
Very well said.
Denise Roche.
Na mihi nui kia koe, Mr Speaker.